Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of ProcureAbility's Strategic Sourcing Success Stories. I'm here today with Jesse Gzak, who's a senior consultant at ProcureAbility. Jesse, thanks for joining me today to share the story about how you helped a major water utility prepare for new PFAS regulations. I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. So first, thank you for your work to keep us safe by protecting our drinking water, one of our most valuable assets. This was operational and financial implications. So why don't you start at the very beginning? Why don't you walk through the challenge from the origin?
Absolutely. And thanks for the opportunity to share this story. So, a few years ago, federal and state regulators, particularly in the state of California, began introducing new regulations around PFAS chemicals, or better known as forever chemicals. So, these chemicals can find their way into drinking water, and utilities were facing strict compliance requirements with a hard deadline approaching. We knew we needed to get ahead of the regulations to ensure availability of the treatment equipment, but we had three distinct challenges. First, while we wanted to move early and be proactive, we didn't have a clear roadmap for quickly tackling the sourcing side of things. Second, we had limited internal bandwidth given our engineering team was stretched. And third, we had to remain extremely cost conscious because any increase would have a direct impact on customers through their water bills. So the challenge wasn't simply meeting compliance requirements, it was figuring out how to move early, move intelligently, and keep costs under control.
It's a difficult balancing act. So given those constraints with the tight timeline, the limited engineering bandwidth, and the cost sensitivity, how did you and the team approach the problem?
So that's where things became a bit more complex. Rather than jumping straight into a solution or utilizing our standard method for selecting partners, the team started by mapping the sourcing streams required for PFAS treatment. That helped us understand what needed to be procured, in what sequence, and within what time frame. From there, we built a decision framework that helped us compare our delivery options side by side. That included how long each approach would take, what it would cost, and how much internal effort would be required. So that structure was valuable because it helped us evaluate trade offs and gave us clarity on the best path forward. And then once we aligned on that approach, execution became more efficient because we had our tailored plan in place, with procurement playing an active role in managing and coordinating the project throughout the process.
Sounds like that upfront planning created a much clearer path forward for you, surely. So if you go to if we play it forward, what results did the solution deliver?
Yeah, so the results exceeded our expectations. All three critical sourcing streams were completed ahead of schedule, which positioned us well ahead of the compliance deadlines we were working towards. We also generated significant cost savings, and that matters enormously when your goal is to protect your customers from any financial impact. We achieved all of this without adding resources to either the PFAS program team or our engineering organization. We solved the major complex problem without growing headcount.
It's a great outcome. Not only were you able to prepare for this major regulatory requirement, but you did so with existing resources and by prioritizing affordability for the customers. So as you reflect back on that experience, what's the biggest lesson you'd share with those in our audience who might be following a similar process or facing a similar challenge or juggling multiple variables or multiple constraints like you did?
Yeah, I'd say don't wait and don't try to force a generic solution onto a unique problem. What made this work was that the approach was built around our specific constraints, our team's capacity, our cost sensitivity, and our timeline. There's really no one size fits all answer to a challenge this complex. But if you can get the right people in the room early, clearly understand your trade offs, and move forward with a plan, you can get ahead of the market instead of chasing it. That's exactly what we did, and it made all the difference. As we speak, much of the equipment is already being installed, and we're seeing the benefits of those early, well planned decisions.
Jesse, thank you for sharing this story. It's a truly great example of how procurement can play a strategic role in helping organizations navigate regulatory change, manage risk, and create value behind cost savings. About procurement having outsized impact, procurement generating additional value and truly strategic impact for the business. And this is a great example of that. So by getting involved early, helping shape the path forward, procurement truly helped position the organization for long-term success while protecting the customers. And it's just a great example of what we are all striving to do and how we evolve procurement to that strategic role. So congratulations on the job well done. And thank you again for a major contribution to making the world a better place. Few things are more important than safe, clean drinking water. And this is a great example of how the work we do has an outsized impact to our community. So thanks for doing your part to make ProcureAbility awesome by delivering great work for our clients. Thanks again.
Well, thank you, Conrad. I appreciate the opportunity to share this story. It really was a team effort.